Gamecast from MSN.
In association with Windows Internet Explorer 8.
Right, well, welcome back to MSN Tech and Gadgets Gamecast with me, Jane Douglas, one of your Tech and Gadgets editors, and Nick Taylor.
Hello.
As usual, and Iain Lee looking very smart today in an Atari t-shirt.
Thank you, I'm going for the retro vibe. Nick, what have you been playing the last 4, 5, 6 weeks?
Ooh, I've been playing a lot of Darksiders.
Okay.
THQ hack and slash adventure type stuff.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, really good fun. It throws you into it, and it seems very, very serious at the start. It's just all this sort of mythology type stuff going on. It feels like you're playing in the middle of an Iron Maiden cover, because there's hells, demons coming down, and you're fighting off angels as well. As you get deeper into it, it's got a bit of a sense of humour about itself as well.
Yeah.
It's a multi-platform game, so it's ideal if you want to play something that's very, very like what God of War is going to be like, God of War 3. But you haven't got a PS3, or you just can't wait, because there's a lot of parallels in it, in the way that it plays to previous God of War games. You know, and it's really enjoyable.
You're not sounding convinced, Nick. You're being a little bit wishy-washy here.
Do you think?
I'm not. I can't tell if you like it or if you.
I do. I've been going back to it. So I mean, it's not. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's definitely going to be the best game of 2010, because it's not.
Jane, what have you been up to on the computer games?
On the computer games, well, Bayonetta, which came out early in January. It's been a really good January. So Bayonetta for the first few weeks, and then Mass Effect. I got my review copy. I don't know.
Okay, let's start with Bayonetta, because I have. I've seen the adverts. I'm not that convinced, but yet everyone is saying
it's really good. I mean, I can see if you weren't into that kind of action game, you know, that Devil May Cry thing, then it's because it's a very good execution of that kind of game. But if you're not into that, then you're not into that. But I wasn't massively into Devil May Cry, but I really love Bayonetta. I really love it. It's really good fun and kind of bonkers in that sort of Japanese way. And she's a really good character. It's really funny. I was talking to one of our columnists, Patrick Gosson. He hates the cutscenes, hates the mythology, hates the dialogue and the script and the characters. And I was like, but it's satirical. It's because she's, you know, we've discussed it before, like the character design and this kind of like vampy witch, glasses, catsuit, hair, like really tongue-in-cheek. And it's sexy, but it's not really sexy. You know, it's a kind of parody of that sort of Japanese sexiness. And really good fun, really over the top. Like, even if it's one of those games where I think I'm actually pretty good at it, but you're not. It's just you're hitting enough buttons fast enough to look like you're spectacular, and then you come up against a boss and realise that you've been winging it so far, and then you actually have to, you know, work some kind of strategy out. But very impressive, like really impressive looking, and just really, really good fun.
It's really tiring as well, though.
Yes, I can only play like half an hour
with your thumb
and then take a break.
You've got to do really quick combos. I'm like, my thumb muscles are really underdeveloped here. So, you know, I've got to start game working.
But I think if you're really good at it and you've memorised the combos, because some of the combos, to get them, it's not a case of doing it really fast, but it's just getting the timing exactly right.
Combos. I really haven't got the memory for combos at all. It just...
Well, it's only a 2-button combo system, so
that would still
you're almost bound to hit some sort of combo, but it's just getting the timing right.
And Mass Effect 2, now, I tried the original Mass Effect. I found it constricting.
I remember
dull,
you didn't like it at all.
You did not live up to the hype at all. You got through. Do you talk to him? Do you walk away? Or do you punch him?
Shoot him in the face.
Yeah,
I think you might like the second one. I'm enjoying it a lot. I've nearly finished. It's much more accessible. I think they've tried to make an RPG that fans of shooters might enjoy. It's got a real kind of like third-person shooter feel to it. Although there's all the RPG elements, it's much more. I would say it's more linear, but I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, unless you're really hardcore into like exploring wide open spaces and really like old school RPG fan, I think you'll do all right with it. The missions are shorter, and you've got like this mission complete screen, which I think is a nod to accessibility, because it'll tell you how you've leveled up and what loot you've picked up, and the inventory system isn't as overwhelming. So there's all these little tweaks to make it more accessible and less kind of overwhelming, and I think that's why it's reviewed so well, actually.
It's the last time I'm ever going to ask this question, because I'm getting the feeling you don't want to tell us the answer. Have you found out how many days?
Oh, I did.
Okay. Let's explain. This is on World of Warcraft, which you totally are obsessed with.
I used to be.
Okay.
Yes.
You're in recovery. There is a feature where you can type in something and it'll tell you how many hours or days you've played for. And we've been banging on at you for months to find out.
Months. And for months I couldn't find out because you actually have to have an account, and I'd let my account lapse because I wasn't into it. But they've recently, well, not recently anymore, but they announced a new patch which had Arthur the Lich King in it, which
wow, really?
Arthur the Lich King, indeed.
Arthur the
yeah,
Lich
him.
King was
you know,
in it,
you don't know who
no,
he is.
not at all.
Anyway,
sounds cool. Though.
So I was excited enough to reactivate my account, and I typed /played when I got in there.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, this is a 5-year-old game.
It's a big build-up, isn't it?
So a little damage control here. It's a 5-year-old game. /played is 42 days, and that's 42 times 24 hours. Right, that's not like 8 hours a day for 42
Think
days.
of all the things you could
I
have
know.
achieved with that
I'm not
time.
proud
You
of
could
it.
learn the piano, a foreign language.
Exactly.
The world.
Exactly.
That's right.
I'm not proud of it.
It's the end of January when we're recording this, and 2010 isn't yet 42
Yeah,
days
exactly,
old.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
if you'd started at the beginning of this
And
year,
not slept
you've still
or
got another
eaten.
2 weeks ahead of
I
you
know,
or something.
I know.
Kids, there's something for the
That's a
forum.
lot.
If anyone can beat 42
I'm sure
full
someone can.
days, I don't know if they can. 42 full days on the World of Warcraft thing.
Everyone's like shaking their head. They've lost a little bit of respect for me. I'm looking around the table. I can see.
No, that's
see this.
commitment.
Okay, I have been playing lots of video games. I've had a huge session on Beatles Rock Band. I found a flaw in Beatles Rock Band.
Oh, yeah.
Because we had a little live link up, me and my mates, so we had my wife was on the drums, my friend Watko was up north and was playing guitar, my friend Elmo was somewhere and was playing guitar, but that meant I had to do the singing. I was kind of forced to do the singing, but the other people in their respective homes can't hear me singing, so there's me being an idiot, screaming, twist and shout. I did actually lose my voice, but it's only my wife could hear it. Everyone else couldn't hear it, which I thought was a little bit disappointing. And apparently it's to do with the lag. There's kind of a lag with the voice if it were to go online or something, and so they don't put it online. So,
Did you not have like headsets on or anything?
You heard
like
the headsets, but then there's a
Yeah.
slight delay. So they could hear me sort of in delay a little bit. It was all very confusing and very frustrating, and was disappointing, really.
Yeah.
Singing's rubbish anyway. You want to play guitar with the drums.
Singing's only good if you've had a couple of beers.
Yeah, and I hadn't, so I was stone cold sober.
Yeah.
It was only because I was the only one that had a microphone, so I had to do it.
Yeah.
Gutted. FIFA 10 I've been getting into. Now, you've been playing FIFA 9.
I have.
What,
yeah.
why is that?
Because my idiot friend, he's just gone to Xbox Live,
Yeah.
and he's got FIFA 9 and can't be bothered to upgrade. And he said, "Oh, they're both the same anyway."
But are they? They're not, are they?
No, they're not,
You
they're not.
sent me an email saying that there's a huge...
FIFA 10 is
difference.
much better, mainly because of the 360 turning that they brought in on the players.
Yep.
So it just makes it a much more fluid experience.
Yeah.
FIFA 9, when you go back, suddenly feels really, really ancient.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so I have to play FIFA 9 because it's the only football game that he has that we can play against each other.
I am loving the FIFA 10. I had a friend around the other day who knows that I hate football and was amazed that I was playing FIFA. And he hadn't seen FIFA since about, 98, 99. And he was blown away by it, by just...
Yeah.
Even my wife that was going, how are they doing the commentary? How are they making that fit? Because it's all spot on. And I did the multiplayer thing where you have like 10 versus 10. Oh, it was dirty. It was dirty in there, man. It was fun, and there was a lot of abuse going on. But
I find a lot of people drop out of that, though.
there
don't
was a
they?
bit of dropout, yeah. I think
Yeah.
that people go and do it for a curiosity thing and then go, oh, this is fun, I'm going to go off and do something else now.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of dropout. And by the end, I think there were about 4 or 5 people on each team. And then it becomes a bit complicated because you'll suddenly change player without quite knowing why. But you were saying, Nick, that they are bringing out... Jane, not interested in FIFA at all. You've been quite quiet in this.
Never touched it.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Well, that's...
I can't contribute.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Please go ahead.
You were saying that they're bringing out a FIFA 10 World Cup.
World Cup edition, yeah. It's just been announced. And it's a pure... what FIFA always does. In a tournament year, they will bring the packaged version of that to FIFA. So that's great and dandy, but it's upsetting a lot of people because they say, well, this should be downloadable content.
Don't buy it,
in this
kids.
day and age.
FIFA 10 is an
Ridiculous,
awesome game and it's wonderful, but these little...
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Now, I've also been playing a little bit of Left 4 Dead 2. I say a little bit because it's not quite grabbed me as much as... I know, controversial words. It's not quite grabbed me as much as the first one. I got the first one, could not stop playing it, just couldn't put it down, was obsessed with it. This one, I've had a couple of games with a few friends and we got halfway through a couple of maps and it's like... there's something... there's something missing from it. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. If anyone knows what it is that's missing from it, go to the forums and tell me. There's just something not quite right.
Is it
with
just not as new as it was the first time around?
I think that's partly it. I don't think it's as witty as the first game. I don't think it's kind of as dark as the first game. I don't know. It's hard to explain. The first game felt more like being in a movie. This one feels like more like being in a game, and that's a very vague description. I'm hoping someone understands what I'm saying. It's just not got it. I'm not. With the first one, I wanted to get to the end of each map and find out what each section was. This one, I've played halfway through 2 maps, and I've not wanted to find out what the next level is, really.
It's unusual for me, but I think it would benefit from more cutscenes, and I'm not normally a person that would say that. But it has that fantastic one at the beginning that really does feel like so movie-like.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it for the really cool cutscenes.
Have you enjoyed it as much as because you've got it as well, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, I have it as well. Yeah, I did expect more that was new from it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's another argument for, is this actually a new game or is it DLC? And I felt that a lot of what was added to Left 4 Dead 2 could have just been a patch onto the original. I
still think it's a separate game. We'll stand by them. They've done well, and this is a separate game. But it's not as good as the first one. My vibe.
Wow.
Did you try scavenge mode?
No, I've not done that yet.
I think it's really worth a try, actually, because I wasn't really into the Versus so much the first time round. But scavenge mode, it's really short. It's just matches you up against the other team. You take it in turns to be the survivors, and you go out and get gas cans to fill up an engine or something like that. But it keeps the matches really short, so you're not trying to make your way through a campaign and they're trying to stop you. Yeah. It's just like trying to get I can't remember how many, like 18 gas cans into the engine. It's kind of good fun.
Oh, I will have a go. I'm going to try it again. I've not really sat down for a full proper session with it. I think maybe I need to do that. Hey, kids, go to the forum. If you agree or disagree with Left 4 Dead 2, you let us know. On to the business. I guess the business of the day is the Apple iPad. Okay, that's what they're calling it these days, is it? I don't know very much about it. What I do know has not excited me in the slightest. It has not got me frothing at the mouth. Jane, does it interest you at all? Does it appeal to you?
Well, it's kind of what we've been talking about all morning. I think once we've got past the fatigue of like all the rumours, and it's kind of like settled down.
They're never as good as the rumours, are they?
Exactly.
On the mock-ups,
so it's the come down from all the rumours and everything, all the expectations. And at the moment, I look at it and I'm just like, well, I was expecting this, and this, and then it's got none of that. But to let it stand on its own merits, I think it's going to take a little time. I think, like we were saying, I would like one. But there's no space in my life where I need one.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a netbook, and I've got access to my PC, and I've got an iPhone, in fact. And there's nowhere in the middle that I need that device.
Yeah.
But I can see how someone might, and I can see how a lot of people are going to want one because it is a cool little toy.
It's a toy, though, isn't it? That's it. It's a bigger iPhone, but you can't make phone calls on it.
No, it's not for voice calls.
So
it's got 3G.
It,
some of the models have 3G.
No flash.
All of them have Wi-Fi.
No USB.
No.
Nothing like that.
I think from a gaming perspective, the rumours ahead of time were that this was going to be something that could genuinely take on the PSP and the DS as a handheld gaming device, and the gaming performance of it looks like it probably will be pretty good.
Yeah,
like sort of playing games on an iPhone is pretty good already, so it's going to be that, but improved. But no one's going to go out and buy that just for games, sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it depends what gets developed for it, because they've only announced they had at the conference they had Need for Speed Shift, wasn't it? I think they had that demoed, and I was looking at something this morning. They said they're going to remake, because you can play all the old iPhone games on it, either at kind of the original iPhone size or like scaled up.
When they scale things up on it, they go a little bit blocky and pixelated.
Well, yeah, because you're not getting any more. But they're going to create new games for it. But the people who made Flight Control, remember Flight Control?
Of course.
They're going to do a full-sized iPad version. I think that would be really good fun. Actually, so
not worth $500 though, is it? For that, so whatever.
And the 59p for the game.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think it depends who develops what for it. But I think Namco are on board and stuff, so you might get.
I'm sure they can. Thank you for the tip off about Broken Sword as well being on the iPhone. I spent my $2.99, whatever it was, and I have. I'm slow. Well, I'm on the second screen. It's kind of. I find those things quite hard work, but good. But they're talking about it being for books and stuff. I don't want to have books. I don't buy this Kindle, this these iReaders, whatever they are. I don't dig it. I want a book. I want to thumb through a book, and I want to feel a book. I don't want to look at a screen.
I think there's plenty of people thinking like that. As an ebook, because it's got an LCD screen rather than all the others are based on e-ink, and like you were saying, Nick, the colour e-ink screens are coming this year?
They say that's possible, by the end of the year. So, e-ink is much more enjoyable to read off of.
E-ink, brilliant. Someone's just made that up. That's fantastic.
This is the actual brand name of it as well.
Oh, wonderful.
But yeah, it's like reading paper. When you read an e-ink display, it's totally static. It doesn't flicker at you. Like
Say it one more time.
Screen does. E-ink.
I don't know why it makes me laugh. I like that. But are you impressed, Nick? Has it got you salivating?
By the iPad? If someone said, here's an iPad, would you like to have it? I'd go, yes, that looks fantastic. But will I be saving up to buy one?
Yeah.
Not in a hurry.
Well, it'll sell loads because it's Apple and it looks sexy and it's it's groovy and all of that. But I don't think it brings anything really to the world. But making big things bigger seems to be the way forward. There's a new Nintendo DS
XL, DSi XL, yeah.
And I've seen it and it's wonderful, but I don't see the point of it. It's a bigger DS. That's it. So it's a bigger screen. Again, I think it's trying to get the alternative market of people who want to read books and Cooking Mama and those kind of things.
And it's got a big elderly market. I wonder if that'll help.
That's it. It's
with the
for
old
old people.
eyesight or something. Do you think?
Yeah.
But did you see the colourways that they're bringing to Europe? Because in Japan they've got the white and they've got this dark red called wine red and dark brown.
I've handled
and
the dark brown.
And they're only bringing the dark brown and dark red to to Europe, from what I can tell.
The Japanese are crazy.
A weird couple of colours.
There's been a Japanese meeting somewhere. They've gone dark brown and the wine red. Those are European colours. We'll send those over there. That'll do. the dark brown, I've seen it, and it does add to the.
Do like a wood finish one if they're going to do a dark brown.
Hey, sorry, I've just remembered. I got sent a copy of Mag. Is it Mag?
Mag. You got Mag.
I got
Mag.
Well,
Very nice.
Yeah, I've not played it. This is the one where you can have like 256 players in a game shooting each other and stuff like that. Is it? Is it any good? Because I've got it and. It means digging out my PlayStation, and I'm not a fan of the PlayStation Online. Although the developers of Mag have said that PlayStation Live Network is more mature than Xbox Live, and that's why they're only releasing it for that. That's what they're saying.
Really?
It's a bit of hocus pocus. But I like the idea. I suspect it would be terribly flawed and laggy and crash, and that's partly why I can't be bothered to have a go. Have you heard any reports about it? Have you seen it?
I've seen it. I saw it at E3 last year. In fact, I was watching people play. The queue was halfway around the building to actually get a go on it. I mean, so no, I can't talk about lag or anything. I would suspect that's really key, and they would have fixed that. I can't imagine they would bring out a game like that.
It's not out yet, then?
No.
When's it out?
Yet.
Oh,
it's out at the end of this week.
Oh, so not that far ahead of the game then. I will have a go, and I will report back next month with my detailed findings. More smoke and mirrors. Project Natal. Natal. That's how we say it, is it?
Yes.
Is that happening?
Yes, it's out this before this holiday season. Holiday season.
What does that mean? That's an American phrase.
Before Christmas.
Oh, jeez.
Fourth quarter.
I thought it meant like summer holidays. I saw that. I thought, oh, great, that's summer sorted.
Yeah.
So before Christmas, right? Fantastic. And I keep reading things that it's the people are developing games for it, but it's still shrouded in mystery.
I was actually talking to an Xbox guy at CES earlier in January. But I mean, he was very bullish about how big it's going to be and how it removes this barrier that the controller is perceived to be for many people. So that suddenly everyone can play games because you don't need to actually pick up anything to do it. You can just be in the room and wave your arms about to play.
Yeah. There was word that they'd left out. They decided to leave out one of the chips, like a bit of hardware that they were originally going to include. Right. Probably to keep the pricing down because making it relatively cheap is going to be a big deal. But the only upshot of which it can only be less powerful than was originally intended or originally demoed back in summer of last year. So maybe not quite as capable as originally envisaged.
Oh, it's going to. I'm just so worried it's going to be disappointing. I'm trying not to get my hopes high because I know it's going to be one of those things where I will probably rush out and get one. And for the first hour, go, well, this is great, and then actually realise perhaps there's not that much depth to it. But we've got a year, pretty much, 10, 11 months to go until we see it.
We'll see.
Now, What? It's interesting bit of trivia. Sega revealed this month that the original Xbox was going to be Dreamcast compatible. Did you see that?
I looked it up. Yeah.
I was very excited about that. They were in talks with it, and then they all kind of kicked off as these talks always do when you're dealing with American and Japanese companies. Someone drank their tea the wrong way and offended someone, and then they stormed out, or something like that. That would have been awesome.
They should have done that.
Oh, man.
Definitely.
And it wouldn't have been that hard to do, surely. You put a little emulator in there somewhere and it reads straight in there. I would love. I'm still a big fan of my Dreamcast, and it's still under the telly and gets dusted off from time to time. And
some developers are still making brand new games for it.
Are they really?
Quite rarely, but yeah, you do see them come out every now and again.
Well done, those developers.
Yeah,
it's the forgotten machine, man. We should be, now talking about Dreamcast 3, and celebrating that.
Did you see over the weekend the guy that cracked the iPhone, unlocked the iPhone?
Oh yes, naughty.
Cracked the PS3. The idea is you can put homebrew, like you're saying,
Yeah.
homebrew code on it in your own OS, and maybe even bring in your own PS2 backwards compatibility, which would be really a big deal. But illegal or counter.
Cracking things
terms and
scares
conditions,
me.
whatever.
It really scares me, and I've had a friend who cracked his iPhone, and it just. I did once I spent ages with a PSP trying to crack it. I don't recommend this, kids, and it is very naughty, don't do it. Because you could play, like, Commodore 64 and old retro games and stuff on it. And, of course, I bricked it. It's this thing where you do it, and it turns into a brick, and then it's completely useless. And I just sat there going, oh, what an idiot! What have I done that for? And then I had to go and buy another PSP, and, of course, never, ever dared to do such a stupid thing. Oh. It always scares me, and I'm always worried that you're going to get found out. Like, Microsoft cracked down recently with was it cracked Xboxes, or it was Call of Duty bootleg copies or something, and they locked everyone's
you
machines.
Off Xbox Live,
booted you off, and rightfully so. It's very, very naughty, and there's our message, ladies and gentlemen: don't do it. Video games are worse for children than pornography. There's this phrase I never thought I'd be uttering this. Ron Jeremy, who I'm sure you're aware of the works of Ron Jeremy. Listen to Daddy.
I'm not going to say yes to that.
No, of course. He's a very naughty man who makes very naughty movies. Well, I didn't realise. I mentioned this before we came in, that Ron Jeremy, the porn star, has come out and said that tests have shown that violent video games are worse for children than pornography. Why children would be watching pornography, I have no idea. But you were there when he said it.
I was in the same city. Yeah,
it's good enough for me.
Yeah.
It's the Consumer Electronics Show takes place alongside the Adult Entertainment Expo. Is it called?
That's right.
They take place in the same hotels.
Bizarrely in the same hotel.
Yeah,
Where is
exactly.
it? In LA?
In Las Vegas.
Right. Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Because it was a debate about. Because it was about the internet and pornography, so it's sort of a crossover event between the Consumer Electronics and Adult Expo. I'm not sure.
The story certainly got piped through both channels.
Yeah.
Was there anything else exciting happen over there in Vegas? Or is it what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas?
In Vegas.
There was at the show itself. There was an enormous focus on 3D. That was
that's coming on, is it?
The big thing. It was like everybody's going to have a 3D TV by Christmas, and that was what they really wanted to push.
What happened? So these are the 3D TVs where you don't need the glasses, because I've seen those. Or these
Sadly
ones
not.
These are the ones where you
still need glasses. They're not terrible glasses. They make you look a bit like Woody Allen, but they're not. They don't have the tinted glasses.
Oh, I have a picture. They're the black glass.
Yeah.
I have a picture of you, which I must send to you, which we took in Tokyo, of you wearing those glasses.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
I'll send it to you, and you can put it up on the website, and people can decide whether you look cool or not.
But yeah, it's like that, like the ones we have for Avatar.
Yeah.
So, same sort of thing. Clear glass to look through. And every TV company in the world now has a 3D TV that they want to sell.
Yeah.
So, I think the gaming market is going to be a huge target for them, because they need to get people to trade up. And, a lot of people aren't going to be too keen because they've just bought a new HD
People have just
panel.
bought HD and plasma TVs. They're not going to want to go and spend... And they're going to be expensive, these TVs, as the technology always is. You're not going to spend another grand, 1,500 quid on a TV.
But gamers are the obvious target to say, well, trade up if you want the full experience of this new game. You'll need to have 3D for that.
I think the big market for 3D TV is going to be sports, because I've seen football and rugby in 3D, and I think they're showing some of the World Cup in 3D, aren't they?
Yeah, I think it was last
matches.
night actually. Sky announced that they were trialling and then introducing their first 3D channel. I think it might be as early as April. Yeah,
because I read that all of the football matches, maybe not all of them, but most of the World Cup matches are going to be shown in 3D, and at certain pubs around the country, there are going to be maybe 500 pubs. There are going to be these matches shown in 3D. And football and rugby, don't like either, but look amazing in 3D. Like, I think the only thing that looks good in HD are sports like tennis and, again, football. It looks good. Movies and TV programmes don't really look as good as perhaps we were led to believe. So I think the sports market is going to be...
I'm the other way, actually, because I saw a bit of sport in 3D when I was out there that they were demoing, and I found it very distracting.
Right, okay.
Football in particular, because I didn't really feel like it was adding very much to my experience of watching it. Whereas where it works really well is with animated films, and that's always the case as well in shops when you go in and they're demoing like a Blu-ray disc. They'll show an animated film because it shows it at its absolute peak. It's all designed by computers, and so therefore they can make it look perfect.
Right. I had one more quick thing I wanted to mention. I'm very, very excited. As you know, I'm a big fan of the retro. The Xbox Live Game Room. Have you seen this? I was kind of a bit slow on this. This is happening soon, where you can build your own virtual arcade and invite your friends over, and then you just go around and playing like Centipede and Frogger. Not Frogger, I don't like Frogger. But all the original things in sort of their original cabs. And it looks wonderful.
Cool.
The trailer looks fantastic. Again, you know, whether it will sustain or not, I don't know. But it looks like quite a nice idea. Games are like £2-3, something like that. I think that's a nice way to keep the old retro game market revitalised slightly. It's always nice to have those old games available.
Yeah, it's a nice concept, isn't it?
Have we got any other business?
You mentioned the Modern Warfare 2 downloadable content.
Oh, yes.
Well, they announced it was an exclusive way back when,
Yeah.
an Xbox exclusive, but it turns out it's a 30-day timed exclusive.
Right.
So they get it first, and then everyone else gets it 30 days later.
Oh, so it doesn't mean that I thought it meant that it was only going to be online for 30 days and then they were going to whip it off.
No.
Oh,
it means that
okay.
you get to try it 30 days before those on rival consoles. Yeah.
Oh,
so it's
man.
I think we're starting to really stretch the word exclusive.
Yeah, that's a little bit
not what
cheeky.
it once used to
You
mean.
can imagine some PlayStation owners are going to go, oh well, never mind. See you in 30 days. You know,
Yeah, I mean, maybe some people will care enough that 30 days is a big deal, and they want to get.
I used to get
straight
excited
away,
about that
but maybe
stuff
not
when
for
they
everyone.
launched new maps, and I got some new maps before anyone else did because I did a promo for whoever. I think it was Call of Duty actually. And that stuff used to excite me. Now I'm too old to rush out, and I am getting to the stage, which I think we mentioned last time, of waiting for games, to be reduced in price or to be in the second-hand bin before buying them. It doesn't.
There's so many of them at the moment. There's this massive flood of amazing games coming out, so you can easily afford to do that.
Yeah. Very quickly, a lot of the old servers are closing down. EA are closing a lot of servers as well, which kind of makes sense. Makes me a little bit sad. I mean, they're Fight Night Round 3 for the PS2, NASCAR and NBA titles. Who cares about them? Rubbish American games. No one's even touched those. Come on, EA and all the other companies. How much can it cost you to run a server, really?
But if there's only one person turning up and it's this whistling ghost town of a place, that would be worse, wouldn't it? You go on there and you're sat there.
I don't want to play. No, it's just me.
Waiting for someone.
Should we go to the forums?
Oh, let's do that.
And see what everyone has been saying. Well, this is
way back when.
We
did ask everyone what they were looking forward to in 2010, actually, and some of the games they're looking forward to are actually now out.
Oh,
so,
God, I do apologise.
So good for them. Like Johnny J said, he couldn't wait to play Mass Effect 2, so that's coming out tomorrow. So it'll be out by the time this podcast is out. So good for him.
Oh, look, that guy over there's Game of the Decade, Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. Brilliant game. I thought that was a little bit disappointing, Knights of the Old Republic.
Really?
Oh,
you're not
look,
a BioWare fan, are you? No, I would agree with him then. I don't know if I'd...
dangerous territory.
Was it good, Jane?
It's fantastic. Well, I mean, you've played it, but you didn't.
No.
But you're not an RPG fan.
No,
and
I'm not.
It's a proper good RPG.
I wish I was, because they sound like there's so much in there, but it's just.
Well, I went to a Final Fantasy 13 event the other day. I was playing that. I mean, I'm not so much
like
into
a
the
convention
Japanese.
Or something. You dress
yeah,
up.
it was a convention. It was a cosplay thing. No, it was just a preview event, and so I had to go on the first hour of that. And it's. I think people. Thematically, it's quite close to Final Fantasy 7, which is like a fan favourite.
Yes.
So I think it's gonna do really well. But then it's been out in Japan for a while, so people can kind of get an idea of what it's like already.
There's a Monster Hunter thing next week that I'm going to. And it's never really caught on over here, the Monster Hunter. In Japan, it's huge. And both times I've been there, it's just been at the time they've been launching a new Monster Hunter. And they have like these massive TV adverts, these huge billboards, and you see people. We went into some department store, and they had this kind of area set up where you could use their Wi-Fi to play Monster Hunter, and there were people just just playing it, and it was fantastic. But it's never really caught on over here. I wonder if this one will. I can't remember what the name of it is. The one they're releasing.
Try. Monster Hunter
they opened
Try.
up like
maybe.
a temporary gathering hall. I don't know, maybe that these are big in Japan, like a community sort of centre where you can go and play with other people. And they did open one up in London, I think, last year for a little while.
That was for the PSP version.
Yes,
wasn't
for the
it?
PSP version.
And this is the Wii one that's coming out. And it seems a little bit more accessible.
Yeah,
it's a lot quicker to get into the gameplay from what I have seen of it, which is not a huge.
They've made it more accessible, I think, for those who more casual gamers.
So many tutorial stage type things in previous versions of it, which I think put a lot of people off because when do I actually get to the game? This one puts you into the gameplay a lot quicker, so that's a good thing.
Rob1980 says, as for games next year, there's so many I want to get, but the main games: God of War 3, Bioshock 2, Heavy Rain, Brink, Gran Turismo 5, Darksiders, and Dante's Inferno. Quite a few of them out.
Splinter Cell Conviction, that's not out yet, is it?
No.
That's another one that's Xavier advertising. That's another one they've got a poster up for.
Actually, no, I remember seeing that, because they delayed the release. It's in April now.
Is it really?
So it went back a little bit.
Because even I got a little bit excited when I saw that. I thought, I might have a little treat myself to that, but no, okay.
I'll see Predator 3 here saying his game of last year was Batman Arkham Asylum.
Good game, yeah.
And when I was talking about Darksiders before, I forgot to say, Mark Hamill is in Darksiders.
Oh, really?
As well. You know, does the Joker.
Yeah. He's
Batman.
good as the Joker. Is he good in Darksiders?
He's the same.
Right, sorry.
I was to say the Trickster. We were talking about girls and gaming. I'm a girl, and I've been a gamer since I was really young. My mum's a pretty hardcore gamer too. She's 57.
Fair play.
Fantastic. I think I got it from watching her play Doom and Duke Nukem and Tomb Raider all those years ago. It's really weird. I'm considered an oddity to my male friends for being into exactly the same things as they are. And God of War 3 and Silent Hill Shattered Memories have got her excited for the new year.
Cool. What else? Dark Messiah says, I'm liking the look of Red Dead Redemption, which you had a play on the other day, didn't you, Nick?
I did, yeah. And it is looking awesome. Really, really excited about that one, actually. I think it's going to be a massive game.
Okay, I think that's us pretty much round up. Reminder, I do want to know, am I being too harsh on Left 4 Dead 2? Maybe I was expecting a little bit too much. If you could go to the forums. Jane, how do they go to the forums?
Go to tech.uk.msn.com and hit podcasts or gaming, and you'll find yourselves directed at the message boards.
We're excited because it's nearly the end and we can go and have a cup of tea. So Left 4 Dead 2, is it? Are you disappointed with it if you've got it, or do you think it's better or whatever?
What do you think of the 4 new survivors as opposed to the 4 old survivors?
Oh yeah,
People tend to have favourites.
Yeah,
they really like.
I was hoping
they
keep the.
But you know they're doing the DLC with the. I think it's called. I've forgotten what the name of it is now, but it's going to reintroduce both sets of survivors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not going to be eight-person multiplayer or anything crazy like that, but it will involve the 4.
That's exciting.
That's exciting.
That reminds me of cameos, actually, which is something I'll just very quickly. But the Lost Planet trailer. Lost Planet 2 trailer
with Marcus and Dom.
Yeah, it's Marcus Phoenix and Dom from Gears of War turn up in the Lost Planet 2 trailer, and it turns out they're actually going to be playable characters in Lost Planet 2 multiplayer.
Yeah.
That's quite an interesting crossover because it's not an obvious one to happen either.
No. Do they even exist in the same universe? I don't know if that makes sense in the mythology.
It doesn't make
but
sense.
I like the idea of crossovers and they should do more guest star characters.
What kind of cameos would you like to see, listeners? Let's hear about your gaming cameos.
Games crossing over. What characters would you like to see in what games? I mean, it was a big thing when Sonic and Mario first got teamed up. It was
now they're in.
Turn up all the time. And what's it called? The iPod?
The iPad.
The iPad.
What do you think of the iPad and the future of iPad gaming, supposedly?
That's your homework this month.
That's your homework.
Dear listener, go to the forums, tell us your views on that and anything else that you've heard in the podcast today. And also anything else that you think we might have missed that you want us to talk about, then we're more than happy to listen to your suggestions. Well, we'll catch you next time, and go to tech.uk.msn.com and hit the message boards. Let us know what you think. Ta-ta. Cheerio.
Gamecast from MSN.
In association with Windows Internet Explorer 8.